Hello and welcome back to Organic Cardboard. My name is Owen Kneep, and today I've got Primal the Awakening. This game, I've been waiting on this for like over 3 years now, and a lot of people are getting this to their doorstep, and mine just came in today, so it's the same day that I got it, same day I'm breaking it open. So this is now May 2nd of 2024. This came out and February. The Kickstarter finished in February 2nd of 2021, and so it has been just over 3 years. So which is certainly getting to be a little bit long. We're starting to see the Kickstarters kind of finish within about a year's period of time nowadays. Now that things have kind of leveled out. But obviously this was still during all of the shipping crisis and all those issues that were going on. This actually came out right around the exact same time that Monster Hunter World came out, the first iteration of it. So this is basically Monster Hunter that is legally distinct from Monster Hunter IP. And I'm really looking forward to it. I've looked at quite a few videos over the past few days. And I think that this is going to have a little better gameplay, in my opinion, than the Monster Hunter World series did, but also still doing kind of the exact same thing, essentially, where you're hunting monsters, except we're not going to be running around on a game board so much as you're just going to have like a little north, south, east, and west off of the around the monsters. Anyways, I'm getting into the game more than just opening the box. So I'm going to go ahead and get this box opened up so we can take a look at it. Now this is a part one of probably two-part series here for this unboxing, because I actually just got this is box if you see on here, I think it says A, so this is box A, and the other part of it's going to come supposed to be here by Monday. So I figured I'd just go ahead and open this one up because I kind of want to get it opened up. I don't really want to wait till Monday to open it up because I am pretty excited to see this. So I figured, let's just do a two-part series of this if we need to. So let's go ahead and get this guy opened up. So yeah, like I was starting to say, Primal is just a bit different on the way, quite a bit different for the gameplay of it. But these guys really looked like they were, making this kind of like a passion project. I believe this is the first game that Reggie Games, the designers of Primal, have done. It's the first one I'm aware of anyways. And so thankfully, I do have the big core box in this initial shipment. So that's great. Looks like we've got some styrofoam on the sides here, because I actually have really been wanting to play this since I've been watching these videos here. Usually when I do the Kickstarter, I'll look at this stuff and then I'll just forget about it. I don't tend to read the rules because I'll forget the rules by the time they come out until it comes really close to time. Okay, sorry, I gotta get myself ready to lift this big box. This is a hefty box. Okay, the shipping box itself. Oh, wow, okay. This is all. I'm actually surprised. I thought there was gonna be a little bit of the extra content in here, but this is just the core box. So this box alone and the shipping said that it was 21 pounds. And this is just the core box. There's none of the expansions. There's at least double the amount of stuff from this box, and this is a hefty box. This is going to be kind of comparable. Well, not quite as long as Everdell is. It's a little thicker than the Everdell Complete Collection is. It's kind of pushing that. I don't know if this is actually, this is about the size of Frosthaven, more or less. It might be slightly shorter, slightly wider. So if you're kind of thinking about how big of a space this is going to take up, this is quite hefty. There's my hands. I don't know. It's hard to get a good perspective on a camera here. So let's look at the back of it here. So this is reminiscent of Monster Hunter World a little bit. You've got the kind of airship on top and some vague stories. It probably isn't going to make a whole lot of sense, the whole storyline with it, if it has anything to do with being similar to Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter was never really so much about the story, it was more about the action. So speaking of action, let's get this thing torn open all the way. Let's see what we're working with. So I know from what I've seen so far, from the videos I've been watching, that this thing is full of miniatures. I mean, packed full of miniatures. Does not look like we're seeing any real damage right away on the box, so that's good. I mean, a couple little like very minor like dents and stuff, but nothing what I'd call true damage. Some very, very minor dents, nothing that I would have a problem with. Okay. So let's see what this looks like when we pull this open. Oh goodness. And I forwent the, I did not get the storage solution for the cards. Kind of glad I didn't, because I've been watching some videos where they've said that those actually aren't fitting all of the cards. Sleeved from the sleeves that they gave. They gave 100 micron sleeves. And I like the sleeve of Sleeve Kings, and they're 60 microns, so they should, maybe they actually would fit with those, but the ones that they offered, they did not fit, apparently. So I haven't tested them out myself, and I won't be testing them out. I was hoping that I'd be able to find some room in some of these boxes that are already big enough with a lot of extra space, hopefully, that I might be able to find some card space within these. So let's see here. So we've got, I'm going to set this aside for a second. See if I can keep it out of the way from the camera a bit. Let's pull this down just a little bit. See if we can get a little bit better of a look. Cut out everything else. Maybe it'll focus better when we do that. Okay. All right. So we've got stuff taped down. A lot of gray plastic here. So this core set, I believe, has 4 of the hunters, because this is a 1 to 4 player game. So technically there is a expansion that I did order. Will be here hopefully Monday. That does go up to 5 players, but honestly, I don't picture myself playing with 5 players anytime soon. I mostly got it because it gives you an extra weapon type, which is like a whole nother slew of cards. This entire set has something over 2,100 cards in it. I think that 2,100 includes all the different sizes, but I could be off on that a little bit. There's a few different sizes. I got the standards, the 60 millimeters, and the like that. They're like 60 by 60 squares, which sucks because like nobody makes sleeves for those. I mean, I say nobody. You can get Pan Asian sleeves. You can get there's some other weird brand out that's doing these 60 by 60 sleeves. I don't really know why. I guess it's probably just not enough games have used that size card for, say, like Sleeve Kings to pick it up, or for you know, Mayday or any of the other big sleeve companies. And I got this thing taped down. Let's get this open. Okay. But otherwise, they're just using American minis, sleeves, card sizes, or whatever. And I have plenty of those. I have plenty of standards. I have the tarot size sleeves. I'm kind of thinking about being a little bit more modest with my sleeving this go around. There's still a piece of tape I missed. Gosh, there's so much tape. So I think I may just only sleeve the cards that are actually going to get shuffled this time, just to save on some of the sleeves. Maybe we'll forego the 60 millimeter ones. So so here we have like the different heroes, and then we've got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the different monsters. And since I'm pulling out the plastic, I might as well go ahead and pull out the 10, 11, 12, 13, you know, the other 4 that make up 13 of these monster types. So we've, yeah, I got quite a few here. These look pretty decent. Not quite as detailed as, I think the Monster Hunter miniatures were a little bit more detailed than these. Just a bit. These are just a little softer, a little bit more kind of like melted looking a little bit. Not bad though. Still pretty fair amount of detail. These look really good painted. I don't know if I'll get around to painting them, but they're very nice as it is. I was actually just watching this guy get in battle today on YouTube. This is like a beetle, like a horned beetle looking character. This is the Ozu. There's some kind of interesting names that they picked for some of these guys. So pretty neat. Yeah, so what I kind of think I want to do is I'm just going to pull these all these miniatures out one at a time. We'll get kind of a close look at each one of them. So I'm going to really bring this guy down a bit. Okay. So we'll start out with the hunters. So here is our bow hunter. Pretty cool. Pretty impressive little 3-shot looking bow that she's got there. At least it's got two big spiky bits on the front of it. I do not have their names memorized. All these characters do have a name as well. So this is the sword and shield character. It's got a pretty big shield. This isn't like the Monster Hunter shield. This is more like a big tower shield that this guy's got going on. So he's going to be probably the more defensive kind of character, I would imagine anyways. And then we've got like this great sword character. It'll focus. Yeah, so then we've got this great sword character here. Pretty neat. It's got this big cape flowing behind him, like some kind of Dracula looking type figure. Then we have the it'll focus. Yeah. Focused. I think it's focused. So we've got the and then this is the hammer, great hammer, whatever kind of character here, the giant hammer wielding dude. Pretty cool. All right. So I kind of wanted to go through and find, let's see. Man, they really tape the heck out of these miniature boxes. I wanted to find, oh, there he is. They're kind of Rathalos character here. They've got one, I'm pulling tape off another box just to get it ready because I'm going to need to anyways, but this guy is the Varaxen. I know that because I've been watching. Is he going to focus? Yeah. So this is the Varaxen. He's kind of, well, he's the introductory monster that you fight, kind of gets you into the fray of everything. He is kind of the Rathalos character from Monster Hunter, more or less. Yeah, pretty neat. Kind of almost looks bat-like a little bit. It's kind of got like a little bit of a batty kind of face, a little bit. And I'm going to keep those in this big plastic container so I don't get mixed up on which ones I've pulled out and which ones I haven't. So I already pulled out the beetle character. We got this weird kind of like, there he is. This weird kind of like mammoth looking character. So he's sort of mammoth-like. He doesn't really have any much of a face at all other than the just big horn mess. He's kind of got this maw in the front where he's just like, rah, kind of like, sort of reminiscent of Predator, just a little bit. And then he's got like a club tail. And then this guy, there he is. He definitely looks like some characters from Monster Hunter. He kind of looks like the Bond character. I'm trying to remember. Uragon. There's an Uragon, and there's one other one that's kind of got like, his name's eluding me right now, but he's the mud one that kind of slams stuff with his head. But he doesn't really have any eyes or anything. He's just kind of blind. He's got another big kind of fan club tail. And he's got like, looks like almost like sticks growing out of his back here. Kind of cool. Here's another dragon-looking character that is reminiscent of something from, they're all going to be pretty reminiscent of stuff from Monster Hunter, but there's a character, I do not know his name off the top of my head, but it does have 4 wings like this. But they're certainly their own thing at the same time that I'm comparing them so much. Like they definitely are, they just look like something in the vein of something I would have seen in Monster Hunter. This one actually almost looks like he's got coral growing on him or something. He's got some kind of barnacle things growing all over him on the back right here. This tail almost looks like some kind of coral. Pretty darn neat looking. I'm sure these guys will look amazing painted. I may get around to it. I'm terrible with wanting to sit and take the patience to fully paint a game that requires it like this. So we've got this kind of Godzilla looking fella here. He's got big crystals growing out of his back. Pretty neat though. It's just kind of like, I'm coming right for you. It's a Godzilla. All right. And then we've got Mr. Horny here. He's got a big horn coming off the front. Yeah, just another some kind of kaiju looking thing. Like something from Ultraman coming at you. He's got 3 fingers and 1 really long finger with a long claw. Kind of think the artwork, once we actually get into the artwork, these things will look even neater. I like this one a lot. So something about this one kind of reminds me of Diablos a little bit from Monster Hunter, even though his face is very different. He's just, I guess maybe it's just the big horns and the stance that he's got, where he's kind of got the hands of the wings down on the ground. It looks like he's ready to tackle something. So he looks like all bumpy and dry on his back, kind of rocky looking, little features on the wings. Pretty neat. And what's neat too with all these is they do all have those molded bases on them, so I like that quite a bit. There's got the rock features and things, something extra, so it doesn't look like just a plain disc that you're painting like they did with the Monster Hunter ones. So this, I'm kind of getting ahead a little bit, but it's in this big clear plastic thing, so I'm going to go ahead and show this. This is the kind of well, this is the guy that's on the front. This is the awakened one. He's the big ultimate dragon that you fight at the end. So I kind of like this already, that this is the biggest dragon and this is quite a bit smaller than the one from Monster Hunter, at least for the amount of space that it takes up. So I think this game in general, you got quite a bit. I'm going to be comparing it a lot to Monster Hunter. You can't really not compare it to Monster Hunter, but I think you're getting a lot more bang for your buck with this game, just with what all they gave you. So he's really gnarly looking in the front. He's got all these horns coming off the side and up top. Otherwise kind of a skinny dragon. He almost looks like he's got some kind of cracked chest or something up here too. I don't know if you can really see that in the camera, but and he's standing on a bunch of rocks as well. This big spiky tail. Now this guy almost looks like he's got a little bit more detail. I'm going to show this on the front cam. He's got a little bit more detail to him. You might be able to see that on some of the wings stuff, but you can actually see the skin a little bit better. But we're still getting, I don't know what type of plastic this is exactly, but we're still getting, again, a little softening on a lot of these bits, where it just kind of looks like the plastic kind of takes on that slight sheen, like almost like it's just slightly melted, so it's not quite as sharp a detail. So again, I'm not sure what kind of plastic that is, but pretty fine though. Otherwise, I mean, I'm not complaining about the detail that I'm seeing so far. Not complaining at all. So that's all of the miniatures from the big section. I'm gonna pull out these ones as well, since I already pulled the tape off the one side. And let's go ahead and just get that pesky tape off of there. All right. So we'll just go down the line. We've got something reminiscent. Let's see, is this focusing? Okay, so we've got this guy here that's reminiscent of the kind of, gosh, I feel like my brain, I'm just completely forgetting all the, I used to know all the Monster Hunter names off the top of my head, but this looks kind of like the electric squirrel a little bit, just a little bit. Still have their own thing going on, but he looks just slightly more feathery, a little furrier. Otherwise, serpentine, kind of dog-like, wolfy looking guy. I'm kind of not sure if that's focusing on the top very well, but that's kind of what we're talking about here. Pretty cool. This guy's particularly neat. This guy is kind of one of the this crab. It's kind of a hermit crab shell here that it's up inside of. He's got coral growing all over him. Looks very neat. Show that a little closer up in the front there. Yeah, very, very neat looking. Just a big crab. Coral all over his back. Again, another one that would look very pretty painted, I'm sure. We've got this kind of nine tails looking character. He's got the big fan tail. It's wolf looking, crystal wolf. He's got crystal spikes kind of coming off of his head. Very cool. And then this guy's probably one of the neater ones of the four off to the side here that were these last four. He's got kind of yeah, just like a double whip, little devil looking tail. He kind of looks like he's got some fieriness to him. He's got a mane, and he just looks neat. Just looks a little devilish, like a little hellhound coming after you. A little, whoops, break it while I'm at it. Little hellhound coming at you though, just nice and friendly little hellhound. Okay, so that is all of the. I'm just gonna set that aside for a moment. I'll figure out how it goes back together later. I think that's all of the miniatures so far. So we're a good part through the box. We're a lot of this weight then at this point is all this cardboard. So I'm gonna pull this guy back. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. I kind of want to just pull everything out of the box, just because this is like, I got to really like reach down in here to get into all this stuff. So I'm just going to pick this big heavy thing up out of here. Looks like there's a couple little kind of like braces or something. I might just leave those in there just to help protect the corners of the box. And we will set you over here. All right. So let's see what we got here. These look like sheets probably for the heroes, and maybe they have monster stat stuff here as well. I lost my knife. My trusty serrated steak knife here. Alright, so this is some thin pieces here. We can actually bring that down now. Okay, so we've got Darian. Darian is the great sword fella. Then we got Mira. So these are kind of like linen finished. Well, they almost feel like they're full linen. I don't know. But they're otherwise like card stock material. But yeah, it feels like they actually do probably have a linen finish. I mean, like a linen interior. They feel pretty sturdy from what I can tell just on the first glance. So on the back of these, they have a little bit of like story flavor text. Like Mira here, this bow user, she says the quietness of the forest is just an illusion. There is always something to hear, a footprint to see, a perfect point from which to take aim. Your arrow moves like a predator, swift, silent, and deadly. So it gives you a little bit of flavor text of that one, but I'm not going to go through all of those. I just want to maybe flip through the artwork of here. This is Thoreg as the hammer wielder. And we got Lonar as the sword and shield wielder. And then here we have the Varaxen. Now we got all the names of all these critters. The Karja is that demon hellhound looking thing. The Toramat is the one that looks like the Uragon. Digorax. Yeah, really neat art, very provocative. Kind of dark. Korawan is our hermit crab. Oruxen, Oroxen. So these all are going to have some pretty strange names. Felixir, the crystal wolf with 4 eyes. Morcross is kind of that Godzilla looking thing. Ozu is our beetle. Jekaros. He looks pretty nasty. He almost looks like an alien, like the movie Alien. He's got the no eyes and the big mouth full of teeth right there. Hurom. Just some swift little like serpent tiger thing. The Taragua is that mammoth. The mammoth with no trunk. And then the Awakened is it's just the head of the big dragon right here. And then we have like kind of a generic one. I don't know why they give you this generic one just yet, but there's like a generic monster here, maybe for like, I don't know, maybe you can make like user created ones, or maybe they're leaving a space open for that somewhere. So let's see what else we've got. So we've got the rule book, which is a very thick rule book, but it's not the biggest. And I've heard it's like really easy to get through for how big it is. I've heard it's a very well put together rule book, and I think they have like a lot of extra like scenario stuff in the rule book because they're giving you like ways to basically like not have to go through the campaign. So they're giving you one-shot rules, which is always nice, especially when they say they're going to give them to you and then they actually provide it. Not like another game that I opened a while back named Orc Quest. Okay, so maybe we can flip through just a little bit of the rule book here. Alright, so it gives you some prologue information. Unfortunately, this is not a spiral notebook, but you know, those have some pros and cons. They're nice because they can lay flat, but they also tend to get a little chewed up around those rings. Yeah, quite a few pages. I mean, before we even start getting to those special like setup rules, there's already like 65 pages, 64 pages right before it starts to go to the expedition rules. So yeah, quite a few to get through. But honestly, I'm not really sure why that is. Maybe it's just going into like really heavy detail. I mean, it's going into heavy detail about every little bit in the game, of course. But the actual from what I've watched of the gameplay, it seems pretty easy to pick up without too much difficulty. So it's not looking too bad. And then we got the campaign book here. So it looks from first glance like there's quite a bit of really nice artwork in here. Kind of setting the mood in some of these spots. Got some of the different monsters. Not going to look too hard in all of that campaign work there. But yeah, pretty neat. It's got the dawn of mankind, the rebirth of power. So looks like it's got some epilogue work for the kind of world building that's going on in this game. So pretty cool. Another really thick book. That's actually thicker than the rule book itself. The rule book, the very end here, this is including all the references and everything. It is 120, if you count the credits in the back, like 121 pages. So pretty thick. Like that's probably the thickest rule book I have, I would say. Again, not the most complicated game that I have. So I'm just grabbing this. It's the next thing that just popped into my hand. And this is the map, I get, or like the play area or whatever, the board that you're fighting the monster on, as well as some extra little world kind of map here. Oh, this is one piece. Okay. I'm not sure what this is about. Looks like it's got one of all the different elements on here. I don't know if this is something that comes into play during the game or what, how this works out, or if this is just something to kind of mark your progress. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is the board that you're using to fight on. So you kind of see it's a little bit off camera, but I think you get the idea. And then on the back of it, we've got kind of it looks almost like you're in some ruins or something, or some sacred area here. But the monster will, you'll stick let's just grab the starting monster. You stick a monster right there, and then he'll kind of turn left, right, front. So it's kind of ridiculous to have these big these big miniatures for this game, because this is literally all this guy does. He just turns from left to right. Well, he creates like a centerpiece, and I guess it gives you that, you know, that flavor that you're actually doing something other than just playing a card game. But yeah, they're definitely not necessary for this game, but they are cool. I'll give them that. But it did add a lot to the price of the game. But we'll leave more of that for the review later. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. So these look like are a bunch of dividers. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull out sections of this at a time. That way I can get it off the camera so it's not. So it's not fighting with me for focus. Yeah, so it's got little separators for all the heroes, for all the monsters. Pretty nice. You know, there's going to be a way to like store your cards here, so they give you those nice little dividers for that. Looks like they also have dividers for the different weapons. Or at least like the different types. You got potions, rewards, items, armor, and helmets. Again, everything kind of has that more or less that linen-y finish to it. Here's a secret envelope. It says do not open. Very secret. This is the tarot cards. Not actual tarot cards, but the tarot card size cards. And this looks like it's going to include your weapons. Let's go ahead and pull this down a little bit. So we got all the different types of weapons, the different upgraded levels of all the elements. Got bones, blood reef. So these are like coral, I guess. Shimmer blade, crystals. So yeah, so you got a handful of different elements in the game. There's also going to be elements that come in from the expansions too, the ice and poison and a few different kinds. I'm just going to flip through like a chunk of these at a time. But very neat, you know, very, very Monster Hunter style, where you got like bits of the monster probably stuck on there, or at least the elemental type. That's going to be reminiscent of whatever monster it was that was killed when you took it off, whatever you had to take off to create these things. Celestial, I guess this is probably some of the biggest items that you can get. It's neat because you can probably play through this game. I don't know exactly how the campaign's set up. I know you play through like 12 quests, I believe. And you could come back through though. I wonder if you could like keep that, because each one of these monsters that you fight can go up like a few different levels of difficulty. So there's like replayability just on the same monster. So it makes me wonder if you go back and fight them, you know, like just like once within that campaign at like a really high level, or if you end up, you know, actually like getting to keep stuff as you go through and go like through a second campaign, holding on to some of your stuff. I'm not sure how that might work. It may just be that you end up getting enough equipment that you can just create those really good weapons early enough that you'll have that opportunity. Or you can just play the one-shots and play them with the big weapons too, but it does have a good bit of crafting along the game as well. So we've got some of these like small cards here as well. I got these numbered, and these might be like special things that show up from the campaign. So I'm not going to read these too hard, but it looks like they've got little like titles at the top of them. Then we have the These are attrition cards, so this is something you'll regularly play with in the game. These are things that where you're kind of like, and it looks like there's some additional ones that you can throw in for some of these monsters as well. But these will be things that you have to contend with during the round stages. You'll basically have to, like, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like the monster lashing back out at you and you have to be ready for it. So you have to have been playing some more defensive type cards. So these are getting into those 60 by 60 cards, and this looks like a bunch of the expendable items as well as some other ones. Maybe these are, look like special items that you maybe can hold on to, or these actual weapons, daggers, iron greaves. It looks like these are including armor as well as like items. And then you got the potions themselves, of course. Quite a few different little types of potions. I don't know what's up with this though, this whip. Kind of looks like, I don't know, maybe you can hold like an accessory item or something. I'm not sure if these are full on, these don't look like full on weapons because we looked at the weapon cards. So I'm not sure what those are exactly. All right, so I had to kind of reset this because apparently one of my cameras wasn't recording. So we are going through the armors now. So yeah, these armors kind of level up, which are pretty neat. They go from 1 to 2 to 3 levels. Pretty cool. So yeah, we've got the so you got like the thunder armor, and you got so the thunder armor is pretty cool because it kind of looks like the beetle's wings there from that beetle that's like another thunder type. And then they got some different other like metal, iron plates, it looks like. Base helm, scale helm, extra horny as it gets up to level 3. Spined helm with antlers all over it. Extra antlery. So yeah, just like a little more intense as it goes up in levels. Reef bound, crystal. Pretty neat. Pretty neat, pretty neat. Here's some more of the continuation off of that one there where you got all the helms that we're going through. Kind of flip through some of these. Iron helms. Waltyar gauntlets. Waltyar, that's such a hard word to say. Sounds like Scandinavian or something. Even though these guys are Italian. Lava buckler. Extra buckled at level 3. Skeletal spear. And there's a bunch of these like little item looking things too that looks like this big like bear jaw, like bear trap looking thing. Tridents. I have at least one for each of these different, like 4 of each of the different levels for each of the different heroes that you're playing with. And then if you get the 5th level, like the 5-player expansion, then you'll probably get an extra one of each of those too. So there's going to be quite a bit of cards just in that 5-player expansion. Shimmering boots, extra shimmery. Going up to level 3 here. And this electric whip. So yeah, it's strange. Like some of these items just seem like, I don't know, because my understanding was that you had a helmet, an armor piece, a weapon, and like a potion. But I guess maybe you can have like some kind of accessories too as well. So these are some of the potions themselves too that kind of level up. They all have their kind of unique names that are very unique to the world here. Vidya, like it's kind of weird potion that you've never heard of. Trying to get inventive. They're not the most intuitive names. They're kind of weird, but they're kind of reminiscent of The Witcher a little bit, though. I kind of like them. Some neat little potions. Yrden level 3. It's just like different colors. Tome of Creatures. Much more of these like kind of item looking things. Coral Visage, so this is like a mask, so that's pretty neat. Gosh, there are just so many cards. Ancient Helm, you got the Ancient Armor, Celestial Armor, and Helms. Very cool. Like, it looks like in-game stuff here. At least the crystal stuff does. It's very neat. All right, I'll tell you what, because I know a lot of these, I mean, there's just so many cards in this game, but that's like all of the like artwork cards, really. Well, I say that as I'm pulling out some of the monsters and stuff here, but I'm just going to really briefly show some of these because these are going to just look kind of repetitive and you're not going to, you know, that's like the stance cards for the monsters here. There's not a whole lot to see. There's like words and stuff. Ooh, that's a... Okay. These cards are kind of stuck together. I thought that had like a hard back for a second. Huh. Well, they almost slightly, well, very slightly damaged, but not bad at all. Just a little stuck together. It's like the printing hadn't solidified all the way. But yeah, it looks like these are special behavior things that you can go after, little objectives and stuff probably for the different monsters. Shows you their stances, like where they're vulnerable at when you're attacking them. And then they kind of go through like 3 different stances as you're going through their health. So there's ones for each of those here, and then like some, you know, extra special actions that they might be doing or whatever, like this destructive strike from Corwan. Active player suffers damage unless they discard a blue card from their hand. So yeah, like things like that. I think that's a blue card. But yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff. Nothing really worth staring at too hard, though. It's mostly just a bunch of words. Just like special behaviors that they might be doing throughout the battle. Yeah, and this is just more of the same. It's like some permanent effect. If you were in the front sector, inflict blind. If you're fighting the Ozu, we've got special swarm cards. So these are all just like special bits that flavor how the monster fights, but nothing too important to really see on camera right now. So this has a little bit more of what we just showed. But it also starts to blend into the hero cards. And I have to get all this stuff open anyways, so I'm going to quickly flip through what we got here. Okay, more of the monster stance cards. Out of control. Firepaw. These are maybe like special attacks. Oh, okay. These are the, I just saw that they got the faces on the back of them. Yeah. So these are the behavior cards. So when you're fighting the monster, you're going to see like 3 of these different ones out. Depending on which monster you're fighting, they have a different face, of course, on the back of it. And it'll tell you how they trigger. So certain things will trigger them, like movement, or at the end of the round will trigger some of these, or like a certain type of attack. And so you'll know that if you do a certain thing that the monster's going to react some way. You don't know exactly how it's going to react until maybe you've fought them a bunch. And then, so otherwise it'll be a little bit of a secret, but you kind of learn the monster as you're fighting them, sort of very reminiscent of Monster Hunter in that sense. And yeah, so that's what's on the back of each of those, all those worded cards there. And then these are like the actual cards that your characters are going to get. And use, so they all have like, I like this like kind of more simple style artwork that they did, where they didn't go too detailed with it. They have this like colored scheme where they've got it black and white with like one bit of color kind of flashing up. That matches the color of the card itself, because those color cards do matter. Again, whether they're affecting certain actions on the cards themselves or other monster behaviors. But they refer to like whether they're offensive or defensive cards, which each have their own split, where the offensive ones can be maneuver cards, or they can be actual attacks. And then the defensive ones can either be parrying or dodging. So then you have all these ways that the actions that you get play into those styles of movement as you're playing the game. If you can't tell, I'm getting this is kind of late at night, so I'm already kind of on that tired end as I'm flipping through these guys. All right, so we're almost done. We kind of looked at all of the cards at this point. This one, I'm going to back this up just a bit. So this is about the end of it right here. Just about. So these cards, I think, are in reference to the different like locations you can go at in the village or wherever town that you're kind of dealing with. It's like you have the herbalist and you got the different forges where you're making your weapons. There's never like a super easy way to open these. Okay, so we got, let's see here, I think that's far enough back. The Metal Forge, the Thunder Forge, Coral, so these all have levels to them as well, Horn Forge, Fire Forge. So it looks like they're the same on both sides. So we've got all the different levels just repeating themselves. Let's not worry about all of that. We get past all of the forges here. And we have the herbalist. I like the artwork a lot on this. This is super nice. But this just tells you like how you're making all this stuff. So I guess as you unlock the different levels, you'll be able to make whatever it shows on here. Though these all look kind of the same between level 1 and level 3, so I'm not really sure what the difference is between those just on first glance. It looks like the exact same symbols, exact same numbers. So I'm not sure what that's about yet, but I'm sure we'll get there. All right. And Then we have the like the campaign little sheets. And you got your player's name and class, and you can list like the different items and stuff that they got over here as well. So these are fine. Just little sheets of paper that they do at least have some of it's printed in color. I'll probably just be printing my own out because I can't ever bring myself to destroy parts of games that I know like kind of like take away from their new freshness. But who knows, there's quite a few in there, so you could certainly get away with ripping a few off and nobody'd probably notice. Okay. So now we're going to get to the little bit of cardboard that's in here. So I don't think, I almost hesitate to even open this, but I'm going to open it because I don't know if there's parts of this that I'm probably going to, I guess I am going to need parts of this, but I'm not going to punch out all of these because I do have the 3D terrain coming. Or maybe I will punch it out because I might be playing this before Monday. So here's all the different pieces of cardboard. You got the different terrain types and fire that will show up. I know in that very first guy that you fight, he's a fire type, so he's going to have fire showing up on that battle that he has. But yeah, all the different condition tokens and things. These plants you can interact with. That was one thing that was kind of a bummer on Monster Hunter, the board game, was that they didn't have plants you could interact with. And they had very limited like items and stuff that you could, potions and things like that. So this game's already kind of doing better in that regard from first glance. So these aren't like super pretty. These are just like functional. They kind of went with this like sort of minimalistic kind of artwork on the game in general. This black and white kind of thing. There's a lot of like white space and stuff, and these kind of like shadowed images. Kind of like when you see an image from afar and you just see like the shadowy outline of the character. There's a lot of that kind of stuff going on in the game. But it's very pretty and very clean looking, and these are completely functional just as they are. A lot of little splats. These are damage, I'm sure. Yeah, little damage counters. Okay, now we're back to the terrain types. So that, I believe at this point I have gone through every little piece that is in this enormous box. Again, this is the, just to pull this back out again, this is the front of it. If I can get this beside me, I don't know how to really show how big this is. There's my hand. My hand's not huge, but still, it's a big old honking box. So that is going to be it for this unboxing of Primal for box A. So we'll be doing a second part on Monday. Alrighty guys, well if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. Always appreciate you guys giving me the time of day, sit and watch me ramble as I'm opening up these new games that I'm getting in. If you enjoy this kind of content, you know, a couple of those free clicks on the screen really help support out channels like mine, and I appreciate it so much when you do. But as always, do what is right for you, and until next time, I hope you guys are, you know, if you pre-ordered Primal, I hope it's arriving at your doorstep as we speak, or you're getting those emails in, and it's on its way. It's a big game, but I'm really looking forward to getting into it. So again, guys, thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'll see you on the next unboxing video for the second half of this game once it comes in. But thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.